Hi everyone, Coach's Corner continues as we talk Wildcat football. It's homecoming week, and that's always a great week at Ponca City High School as Week 9 finds our Wildcats at Sullivan Stadium against the Bartlesville Bruins, and a chance to maybe knock off the Bruins and spoil their chances for the playoffs. And Coach, homecoming's a great week. I know it's one side of you really likes all the enthusiasm. The other side is, sometimes there are some things which can hedge with the concentration a little bit. I think actually it's probably a pretty good time for this football team to kind of lay back and have some fun and get ready.
Absolutely. First of all, homecoming here is one of the best I've ever seen. I mean, the Thursday parade, the other high schools I've been at, the parade is not near as neat and as big as the homecoming parade here is. And then the little thing we do after the parade, on the steps of the lawn, of the schools, also very neat that I never, have experienced at other places. So, Ponca City's tradition of homecoming and the things they do, pretty neat little deal, and I embrace it. I want our players to embrace it. And you're right, actually, what you said though, it actually fits. I'm not going to be, I want them to enjoy the fun, festive part of it, and you're right, it comes at a time when we probably need some.
2 games left, and Ponca City's coming off a loss to Tulsa, Washington. I didn't get a chance to talk to you the other night, but somebody asked me, and I said I thought it was probably as good a game as we've played all year, and they said they got beat 51-0. And my comment was, if you didn't listen to it or you didn't see it, you really don't know how that ball game went. It was 51-0, and would you say that I wasn't watching the same game as you were,
yes,
or would you say that I was watching the same game?
It was, well, don't get me wrong, 51-0, disappointing. We had, and there was moments where there was plenty of moments where we were disappointed. But what you're correct though. First of all, let's start off with the defense. Got stuck in really tough situations there, especially in the first 3 or 4 series of the game. We're talking ball, the Booker T just looking at 25, 30 yards, several times before they get in the end zone where they were handed the ball at. And our defense only allowed really 10 points through the first, 5 or 6 drives that were in, honestly, very tough situations. And we held them to, several field goal attempts and only 1 score there for a while. So, I thought defense came out and played really hard. Offense, it took us a few series to warm up. But once we got going, we drove the ball. I'll say the word drove the ball. We drove the ball very consistently throughout, honestly, the rest of the game. We just hit a point again where we hit the 10-yard, where we're 10 yards out or so, and we couldn't get in the end zone, obviously. Or if we attempted a field goal, we didn't execute that. So, but you know what? You're talking about positives of the game. Offense. We had 300 yards of offense. 131 rushing, 186 passing. That, we haven't experienced too much this year as far as that much offensive production like that.
Well, we talked after the game with the people from Washington, and their comment was the same. How did we win 51-0? Because the game started with a 3-and-out for Booker T. We gave it back to him, a 3-and-out for Booker T. This is 0-0 with about 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. And I think probably in games like this, you're just trying to manage the clock by sections. And you're saying if we can get to, the first quarter with it, being close. And in the first, and what happened was we had our chances to score and didn't. And as is the case, no matter what Booker T is doing on a season, they have big playability, Coach. So they're going to make a couple of big plays every ball game.
Sure. And like I said, when you don't score like that, you don't help your defense motivationally, psychologically. It's just saying that they need some energy boost, and we're not getting the energy boost. Even though we had great drives, we just, it got to where we couldn't punch it in for whatever reason. And you're right. It is a tale of two. The score you're not happy with. You're not scored like that, and there's obviously several plays in the game you're not happy with that lead to a lot of that. But no, there was a lot of positives. There was a lot of positives that that we that we can take from that. I mean, that was a good honestly, was very concerned about our chances of scoring in the game or driving the ball. That much matter. It's just I thought their defense was a very complete defense, both run stopping and pass stopping, and we found ways to do a little bit of both against a good defense. So there's victories within things. That you're right. If you just read the newspaper, open up the newspaper, or you're not listening to the radio broadcast or such, that you really you can't really quite feel.
Well, our kids are 0-7 on the season, and if they came out a little bit down, we'd understand that. But you know what? I thought the best thing was that we came out and we played hard as we have in the first quarter of the very first game of the season. If Ponca City would have taken advantage of their scoring chances, I think we had the ball 5 times inside the 20.
Yeah.
If we just would have scored 2 or 3 times, that score is much closer. And I think by the end of the ball game, then Booker T scores a late one to make it look a little bit worse. But even the Booker T people said that was as tough a game as they've had in district play. And Ponca City gave them a lot of things, including a little read option by our quarterback that really worked effectively.
Yeah. We're developing a little. Our style of offense that you're seeing, that you come out and watch is, not everybody in the district's doing it. The type of read option we're doing, where we really have a stretch going by our tailback at all the times. Quarterback's reading a front side in, and then we have an interior run play that he has the option to. He reads an end. He can hand it off on the stretch, or he can keep it up the middle. And obviously we have counters within that little system, and it's given the last 2-3 weeks, or even if you even want to start back to Owasso, we were handing off on the stretch. That little play has started to really come into its own. We're building off of it, that type of offense. We got Coach Mack and Coach Tag, really, our run game guys. Mack's the run game coordinator, and he is doing a really good job each week, putting a counter system to what they might try to do to stop it. And we've had some good things in that area running the ball the last couple weeks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Booker T's in the rearview mirror now, and Bartlesville is our opponent this coming Friday night for homecoming. The Bruins, they got it handed to them by Tulsa Union on Friday, so they'll come kind of limping into Sullivan Stadium. But it's a great rivalry game. It's a big game for both teams. I don't care if we're 0-8. This is a big game for Ponca City High School.
Absolutely. Their head coach called me the other day, and they eventually want to start a traveling trophy type of rivalry with this, because they're going to be in our district for years to come.
Right.
And I'm all for that. I think that would be great. This is a fun. This can be a really fun game. We had honestly a great game with them last year. I mean, it was 14-7 going into the 4th last year. Obviously, if we win that game, we're the 4th spot in the playoffs. So, and even had a drive, a little bit in that 4th quarter on their end. We're going a little bit. So it was a fun game last year. Want to make it a fun game every year, and hopefully, we want to derail their chances of playoffs and win this thing, and you know what? Hey, we experience a win this weekend. It gives a taste in our guys' mouth. Seniors leaving, guys returning. Hey, we got better. We got better as the year went on, and we look forward to some good things coming into 2014.
Well, Coach, they come in with a sophomore quarterback whose numbers show that he's a really good passer, somebody we're going to have to deal with for the next couple of years too.
Yeah. Listen, Phil, I think we've seen a lot of good quarterbacks. This is the next great one. This is the next great one in the district. I know Brent Wilson, and people tell me about how the district was even before I got here, with Stillwater, Owasso, Brent Wilson, and it was just pretty impressive. To now, I think the Sand Springs and the Sapulpa and the Guthrie's guys, people on our schedule, that we've played have had very good quarterbacks, and this guy's right up there with them. He's right up there with them.
Well, the Bruins will come over, and of course it'll be homecoming. All the activities 7 o'clock on Friday night kickoff. As the Cats have a couple of games left, we hope that you get out and support them on Friday night and enjoy all the activities of homecoming. Appreciate Coach Allen visiting with us, and we'll see you Friday night at Sullivan Stadium for Ponca City, Bartlesville.